Alright, so let's cut the crap and just talk about this. There's a very simple solution here. If you're Bronze 2 and you're serious about improving in this game, the answer is very simple. You stop playing Nidalee, highly complex mechanical champion with complex strategizing and complex routing, and everything that you do is high variance, highly based on your skill level. You just don't really benefit from playing that champion at all in your skill bracket. What you need to learn is basic efficiency. Let's say if you just compare it to any other skill, right? Usually it starts with resource management. It starts with just getting more resources in the same time span because you're quicker, you're just more refined in what you're doing. So what you do, for example, what I did is, if you Google my Nunu routes, I just did 100 Nunu routes. Nunu 3.28 jungle clear, something like that. You'll probably get my clear over here. Because it's the fastest. Because it's the fastest that it could possibly be. Right? All I did here is, I did this with, let's say, 3 or 4 different champions that I grinded in rank to diamond. Right? And what I did was, I just practiced the same route about 50 times. And I invented all sorts of methods to be slightly faster. And there's a video on Skillcapped on some of the basics of jungle clearing, but there are many, many more principles that I'm using in these routes. And you can figure out all the different ones. Point is, if you do this, you just become more efficient. If I do this right now, if I just pick a champion and I start practicing the route 100 times, if it's not Nunu, I will improve very concretely. Now the question is that going to be my main method of improvement at this point? Well, it's a nice start, but it's not going to be enough to climb. But if you're in Bronze, then I can definitely guarantee that this is enough. Especially if you pick a high economy champion. Let's say you pick something like Graves. If you get 3 items on Graves when everyone else has 1, you're just going to pop off. Like Nunu, not the best example of that. You really do want to have an impact early on the lanes. Graves, sure, you would like to become a good jungler and do stuff with Graves early on, because you can. But if you're in Bronze and all you do is power farm your way into an easy gank, someone who's already overextended and almost dead, and you just pick up 1 or 2 takedowns in the first 10 minutes, on average, you're already doing fine. If you get 80 CS at 10 minutes, or 70 CS at 10 minutes, you're going to be having more farm in the jungle than anyone else as a laner, because people just suck at the fundamentals. They just don't take that time to practice like I'm doing right here. So that is my advice to you. If you die 10 times in Bronze games, then there's something inherently wrong with how you approach the situation. There's not some small inkling of an error there. It's just complete blundering over and over and over again. And all you need to do is just, if you can't see all the blunders that you're doing, and you're just clueless, like, what do I do from here? What you need to do is remove as many variables from your gameplay as you possibly can. Just try and eliminate all of the crap out of it, and even eliminate parts of the game. Just say, you know what, I know routing is important, but for now, I'm just going to go with a cookie cutter route, even though that's not a good thing in the long term. Gonna stick with a cookie cutter route and focus on nailing the camp mechanics. And then in a real game, I'm going to use that cookie cutter route and just see if there's something at the end of that route that I can just pick off easily. And otherwise, I'm going to reset and go do another route. Like, literally just try and stick with the very bare basics. Don't risk anything. Play for absolutely 0 risk, because if you do this, eventually you're going to get ahead in gold consistently, every single game, simply because nobody in Bronze is at maximum efficiency. So you're always going to get drastically ahead over time. Because of that, you need to only minimize risk, right? Because you're just, if you risk things, the only thing that could happen is that you get further ahead or further, or you lose your lead and you fall behind. And that's what you want to prevent. You just want to consistently build out that lead every single game. That's how you win, over 80% of your games in Bronze. You just get a lead every single time, and every once in 4 or 5 games, you maybe get teams that go 1-20, and then you have to take risks. You have to start playing the game, and maybe you're not skilled enough to do that. That's very realistic, and that's not something you can prevent. That's absolutely fine. But then you win 80% until you meet better players who are more efficient, and you start becoming pushed a little bit more to do more things. Let's say you start thinking, that guy started on this side, maybe I can invade and kill him with Graves, because I can do a full health clear now. Right? You start taking it to the next level once you meet better players who are slightly more efficient, and who might invade you if they have the chance, etc., etc. Alright, that's it for this one. Hope you learned something from that. If you did, consider leaving a like if you're just watching this, if you're just looking at... Obviously, this is advice directed at one person, but it's also just essentially a view of the game and of learning in general. How do you learn at a certain skill level? In this case, bronze. High bronze. Alright, so that's it for this one. See y'all in the next one.